Hi, it's Kathy, and I am back with another version on Tippin' on Tuesday. Today I am going to show you a masking technique for these cute little kittens from the Pretty Kitty stamp set. We're going to use this cute little kitten right here, and then this A Friend Like You comes along once in 9 lives. Now the inspiration for this card actually was that comment with 9 lives. So I thought, well, there should be 9 lives there. So there are actually 9 kittens. So I'm going to show you how to create those and a couple of other tips, including how to get these stitched lines with the new stitched labels, framelits in the new 2018 catalog. So let's get started. Here's the inside of the card as well. So for this card, you're going to need a piece of 5.5 by 8.5 Night of Navy. You'll need a piece of mint macaron at 4 by 5.25, and this has been run through the Big Shot with the Seaside embossing folder. You'll need a piece of 4 by 5.25 inch Whisper White for the inside of the card. You'll need a piece of the Tranquil Textures Designer Series paper, and this measures 1.5 inches by 4 inches, and a second one that measures 3/4 of an inch by 4 inches. A piece of Whisper White that measures 2 inches by 4 inches, and then a stitched oval. This is the 2.25 inch stitched oval. You'll need a scrap piece of Whisper White to stamp on. And then finally, what I did was 3 strips that were 3/4 of an inch by 4 inches. And then these are run through the Big Shot. Now I left them large. I didn't make them just the width I wanted because this makes it easier for gluing down, which I'll show you when we're assembling the card. So let's get started. The first tip I have for you is about the masks, because we're going to mask to get these kittens, because obviously you can't go their bodies, the back groups bodies need to be masked off. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with this little kitten over here, and we're going to work across these 5 and then come back to these. So we need to get some masking, and you will need 3 kitten masks. Now instead of taking this and stamping the kitten 3 times and then cutting each of them out, what you're going to do is you're going to stamp it once and then just grab 3 of the Post-its. So stamp it while it's still on the stack of Post-its, stamp the kitten, and then cut it out. And you'll have 3 of them that exact shape. Now we won't need to worry about the masking of the bottom of the kitten here, so I haven't cut that. And so now we have 3 all ready to go all at one time. So we'll take this piece here, and I'm going to bring in something to stamp on. Okay. So to ink the kittens, we will be using the black StazOn ink because we will be using watercoloring. So, and we don't want to smear, which would happen if you use the Memento. So we're going to have our first kitten have his paws down near the bottom of the Whisper White, and then his right cheek close to that right side. So we'll go ahead and stamp him right there, just like that. And then we'll take a mask and mask him off. Our next kitten, we want their cheeks to be right next to each other. So we're going to go here and stamp. It's a lot harder with the camera, so hopefully we'll get them all. And then move on to the next. And if they're too close, that's okay. They can kind of be stacked on each other a little bit. They'll be just fine. And so keep working across. But I thought with 9 lives, we had to show 9 kittens, right? And there. And now this spacing that I have here, I can tell my last little kitten's going to be off the edge a little bit, but that's okay. We'll put his face right in, so at least we have the face. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so now we need to mask off this kitten, and we need to mask off the one next to him. Here. So those two need to be masked off so we can put the one above them. So he's going to go where his head is, right in between the two. And up a bit. Just like that. And now this one down here needs to cover that kitten. Just like that. And then you also need to mask off this kitten, and that's why we need 3 maskings. And we'll come with our next kitten. This one moves over to there, and this one moves up to there. And we're doing that kitten. And our final kitten will go right there. Okay, so now we have 9 kittens. So let's get coloring them. And I'm going to use an aqua painter and crumb cake ink. And quickly just color them in. Okay, so they're all colored in with the crumb cake. And now we need to color in their ribbons. And I'm going to do some of them with the mint macaron. And some with the fresh fig. So we'll get every other one. Okay, so now we can move to the fresh fig. Okay, so those are done. And then I want to come back with my powder pink marker and give them little pink noses and tongues and ear centers. So we'll just catch all of the ears first. There we go. And they're all ready. And then finally we need to stamp on the scrap piece the sentiment, and I'm going to do that in Night of Navy. So we'll stamp that on there and then cut it out using the 2-inch layering oval. So now we're ready to assemble, and we're going to put this piece down and attach our designer series paper. At the bottom here. Take our kittens and 2 of the stitched strips that we did, and as you can see now it's easy for me to run some adhesive down it and then place it where I want on the back there, and so that gives it a nice base to grab onto. I'm going to love working with this new set of these pieces. Now you can see this one is too long, but that's okay, I can trim that. There we go. But it'll be fun to be able to put strips on quite a few places. All right, so now we can attach that. Just right here to the card. And I have my sentiment and got my stitched oval. Place that on there. And then get a couple of dimensionals. And we'll attach this to the front of the card first. Now, if you experience this trouble with using any of the tape adhesives with an embossed folder, that happens because of the breaking down of the fibers of your paper. So if that happens to you, just go ahead and use liquid glue. Just makes it a lot easier and you don't have that problem. So we'll go ahead and do that real quick. And place that down. Just like that. And our sentiment. Right down here. Okay, and then for the inside of the card, I'm going to go ahead and put the base down first, the strip, and that way we know exactly where we need to stamp our kitten. There we go. So now we can stamp our kitten back and stays on. color him just like we did the other kittens. So we'll get our crumb cake first. And I think we'll do a fresh fig bow. And finally, our little pink nose, tongue, and ears. And that's ready to go into our card. Just like that. And there is our little 9 lives kittens using a masking technique and tip. Thanks for joining me on Tippin' on Tuesday. See you back next week. Have a great week.